what I have just done and am doing is clearing out actually a lot of negative space. Negative space is let's just clear out the negativity, right? In this case, it's not really a judgment or a moral sort of bearing on this, more positive, negative. It is just that the space that is positive is in reference to the actual subject, in this case, a pile of rocks, which I very much actually am realizing I treat more as a subject of portraiture than an element within a broader vista or landscape. It's very much a portrait. And the space that defines said positive space, besides its own collection of shapes, is the relationship to the space that's around it. So this here is the rock. The space here, all this blue, is the positive space. And what I've been clearing out is I'm kind of looking at just how this shape comes in. So this is its own shape. And I'm realizing that from here to here, looking at my image, there's actually a little bit more going on. So actually there's a bit more space. So I just cleared that up. And that just reduced this shape here, which is actually more in line with what I'm trying to make. So that's the positive negative space. And sometimes, a lot of times when people talk about when you're assessing a piece too, there's also good to like turn your image upside down so that you're not looking at what you think you're painting, you're just looking at a series of shapes and relationships. And that's really what this is too, is the exercise of continually assessing and reassessing the positive and negative space is just looking at relationships and checking in, right? Every relationship needs check-ins. How are we doing? Where are we at? Are we going off the rails? Are things where they need to be? Are we happy with what's going on? And those are all healthy assessments. Not so much questions or doubts. It's just, hey, where are we at? And I think at this point in time, I'm feeling pretty good about this kind of line roughly through the middle of the canvas, which is probably what makes it interesting. Now we go back and forth. So I will start to get a little bit of the color of my rock shapes and just start kind of adding in bits that sort of help better define this top edge. I may not even worry about this just yet. I may just focus on this. So I'm likely going to just do I might even go a little too far in the other direction, like make it a little too dark and define this space, and then I'll go back and start looking at the water and start putting that space in. And in that case, it flips, right? The script flips. If I'm painting the water, that's sort of the object of my attention in some ways in this moment, that becomes the positive space. So here's the positive space, and the rocks become the negative space. It's this sort of vacillating back and forth of how we're defining and assessing our paintings and what's going on, and how accurately it's representing what we're wanting to represent, what we're in both the actual topic, the feel. Like right now I have a lot of my crystal lead white in there, which has this little bits of leaded crystal glass in it, which gives this little bit of like shimmer to things, a little bit of a metallic feel. I don't know that I'm loving it 100%. I mean, for this particular image, I feel it's actually really appropriate. But I may, for some of these darker areas, actually remove that, because I want the dark areas to sit and just not shimmer. Because there's going to be so much shimmering everywhere else, having a counterpoint to that might actually be not a bad idea, but I think that may just come a little bit later.